Cherilyn Lee, she joins us now. Cherilyn, you got that call last Sunday, so that was 5 days before Michael Jackson died. Did you follow up on it?
Yes, I tried following up on the call. Unfortunately, when he called me, I was in the emergency room in Florida myself. Got very lightheaded and dizzy, and so I was in the hospital my own self. So
you never had any follow-up conversation with anyone in the Jackson staff, did you?
I called. No, I did not. Tried calling, and I was unable to reach anyone.
Okay, and your involvement with Michael Jackson began several months ago. When was it that you met and that he began asking you about the drug Diprovan? How long ago was that?
It was about 3 months ago. He started asking
and
about
he
the
brought
drug
up
3 months ago.
He brought up the drug in what context? How did it come up?
He said, "I am so sleepy. I cannot sleep. I want to have at least 8 hours of sleep." We had discussed it before, and I said, first, he asked me if I could just spend the night with him, just watch him, just see his pattern of sleep. And so when I did that, he said, "Now, do you understand? Do you understand I cannot sleep well? And all I'm looking for is just 8 hours sleep. Just 2 hours, 3 hours." And when I was there, he was sleeping really good. He was, he rested, but in 3 hours he woke up, and he said, "Now, do you understand? I'm not pretending. I really need sleep." And
so, what did he say about Diprovan?
Then he said, "This product." When he said it, I said, "What are you speaking of?" Because it sounded like some of these other things. I said, "What are you speaking of?" He said, "This is a medication. I had it before." And I said, "Well, who gave it to you?" He said, "My doctor, a long time ago." He said, and I said, "Well, who was the doctor?" He wouldn't tell me. He said, "But when it hit my veins, I went right to sleep, and I was able to sleep really good." And I said, "Well, let me check on this, or whatever that is, IV. I'm sure it wasn't safe." He said, "No, my doctor assured me that it was safe." He was so convinced that this was a safe medication. He said, "Can you find me somebody? Can you find me somebody to come here and just watch me sleep and give me this med?" I said, "I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's something that isn't safe." I left his home. I went to my office. I got my PDR because he wasn't understanding it wasn't safe. I said, "Look, Michael, this is what this medication will cause. It will cause a lot of problems." And I went down the list in the PDR because I had it in front of me at the time. And I said, "Michael, you're so concerned of wanting to sleep, and sleep well more than, 2 or 3 hours. But, my concern is, you have something like this. Will you wake up? You cannot do this." So he said, "Okay." And, I didn't see him anymore. That was 3 months ago.
Why, if you hadn't seen him in 3 months, would somebody on his staff call you out of the blue, especially if he had a doctor on his staff?
Because I had been working with him nutritionally from January. His energy was low when I met him. He said, "I'd like to find out why my energy is so low." And that's how I kind of started in with working with him to build up his energy, because his energy was low. He had a lot of dryness in his hands, and he said,
but my question is,
I
understand that. I understand how you got involved with him to try to help out his energy nutritionally. Why would, after a 3-month absence of not communicating, would suddenly last Sunday, according to you, somebody on his staff call you saying he's in extreme state and needs your help? Do you know why, or did it just come out of the blue?
I didn't know myself. Only thing I thought of is he recalled the symptoms I was telling him he might have with that. When I walked away from him 3 months ago, I didn't walk away. When I last saw him, I thought he was convinced he was not going to have that medication, because I told him the seriousness of this medication.
And so you don't know for a fact whether or not someone did give him that medication, but that is your fear, that is your concern. Have you talked to authorities?
No, I have not. Because I didn't know.
You have not been interviewed by police?
No, I have not.